Hey, everybody. Welcome to Invisible Condition. It's not all in your head. I'm your host, Jeff Pearson, and we want everybody with an invisible condition to know beyond the shadow of a doubt, you do have a voice, you do have a community, and you are never alone. Here on Invisible Condition, we know life can be tough sometimes, been there. And we also know that there is always hope. So I want to just talk to you just for a second about a couple other things that we're doing outside of Invisible Condition. Maybe you'll want to check it out. We actually run a nonprofit called Hydro with Hope, which helps people with the condition that I was born with, my invisible condition. It's called hydrocephalus, and it requires brain surgery on a pretty regular basis for some of us, and it can be a little tricky. I've had 4 brain surgeries in the last 12 years, and it's been a really interesting up and down ride during those times. And so we created that nonprofit to help other families that are going through some similar things. And so if you want to check that out, it's hydrowithhope.com. Also, if you've been watching for a while, or maybe this is your first show and you say, you know what, I think I know somebody that would love to get the word out about what they're doing in their business on Invisible Condition through a commercial or through sponsorship, I would love to talk to you. So Invisible Condition at e360tv.com is a way to get a hold of me. That's my email address. And, let's have a conversation. You never know. We'll see if it's a good fit. I'd love to meet you. So, okay, here we go. Today, get this. You ready? Today, this show starts our 5th season. We have been on the air. This is the start of season 5, guys. Everybody, this is huge. So we just recorded. We've gone over 200 episodes. This is the start of our 5th season. I can't even hardly believe it. So thank you for sticking around. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being with us from the beginning. If you have been, and if this is your first show, thank you thanks for coming. Let's go another 5 seasons. Let's do it. Let's go another 10. I feel like we're just getting started. So thank you for everybody for being here. And speaking of somebody being here, we get to kick season 5 off with my favorite co-host, Michal LeBaron.
Yay!
Hello, Michal.
Hello.
Thanks for being here, man. This is cool. We get to kick off season 5 together. This is fantastic.
I know, this is so exciting. I love it.
So, all right, I'm going to take that down so we can. But Dave, thanks everybody. Season 5, here we go. We're getting started. Here we are. So now we've got. What are we going to talk about today? I know we finished a series at the end of season 4. And now season 5, we're going to kick off a whole new thing, and it's going to blow your mind. Go ahead, Michal. What are we talking about today?
Yep. So I actually wanted to start our new season with a whole brand new topic. And
first, tell them who you are, because if people are brand new, let's do that first. I know.
For our newbies.
Yes.
First of all, if you are new, the previous seasons have been truly extraordinary. Jeff has an amazing community of stellar individuals who have huge hearts for humanity and are just up to amazing things. So I would say definitely go back. It's been so cool to be a part of. So thank you. And I am Michal LeBaron. I have a background in functional medicine and holistic nutrition and lots of other things. I kind of tried it all. At my worst, I was bedridden, and doctors and specialists did not know what was wrong with me. And so I ventured into the holistic world and tried everything holistic and alternative I could learn about, try, do, explore, all of that. And while that did help me go from bedridden to seemingly normal, I still was on restricted diets, tons of supplements, had to have chiropractic or massage every week. I saw neurologists. I had to do so much to manage my health, and I had to avoid a lot of things to avoid symptoms. And so it dawned on me that meant I was still very sick, and that was not what health looked like. And so it caused me to search deeper. And what I discovered in my own experience is that by regulating the nervous system and getting into a regulated state, my body rapidly repaired itself within about 3 months. And I was able to eat all those foods that I couldn't eat for a decade and a half. No sign of my autoimmune disease in any of my labs or my genetic condition that's shown up in every test since I was a baby. No sign of having any of those severe food allergies, which cause anaphylactic reactions. And also I was autoimmune to some of the foods. So it's like a double whammy. And, I can eat all of that. I'm not on supplements. I'm not on meds. I haven't been adjusted in years. I can have regular deodorant and regular shampoo, and it's wonderful. And I just am living now as like a fully healthy person that doesn't need all those restrictions and things. So that's what me and my team really love to do. We work globally and virtually, and we help individuals with chronic illness that have tried everything, and they're still sick or nobody knows what's wrong with them, to find the real root cause of what's going on, fix that so that the body can operate optimally. And when we are functioning optimally, there are no ongoing symptoms, and we don't need any tools or modalities or techniques to manage symptoms because we don't have ongoing symptoms. That's what true health is. And it's a lot more than that too. It's like how we approach our whole life, right? Healthy with finances, healthy with parenting, healthy with relationships. And so fully healthy is the goal. And that leads well into our new series topic. Is I'm actually going to be sharing with you and teaching you guys about German new medicine. There's a lot of names for it: German new medicine, biological decoding. There's lots of different names and offshoots for it. But we're going to teach you the way that we utilize it. And it's really just one of like 60 plus things, approaches that we teach, but it's a really beautiful one. And I think it helps our logical minds understand our bodies a whole lot better and not be afraid, but know exactly how to address and find the root cause. Plus, I'll show you a cool new trick and tip that we discovered with ChatGPT as a way to very quickly learn about what I'm talking about and make it personalized to you. So we'll give you some of that fun stuff in this series. And
Beautiful. And I got to say, so Michal and I met in December of 2023. We were both speaking at the same conference. And I told my wife, Catherine, do not let her leave the building before we have a conversation, because she is doing amazing things. And I can't wait to learn more about what she's doing. And maybe she can help me. Who knows? Even with something as crazy as some guy that's had 15 surgeries and 7 brain surgeries. And can she really help me? Yes, she can. And she has. And I just finished her, going through her program, and I would consider myself fully healthy now. And we are working through now we're working on the everything else, right? Now you're fully healthy. Now you get to progress through life and learn what that means. And so that's what we're learning. And, my daughter, my 21-year-old daughter, in another state, no less, saw the change in me from going through Michal's program and said, holy smokes, Dad, how do I sign me up? And so she's going through it, and my wife, Catherine, will be going through it here shortly. So it's a whole family affair. It's going to be amazing. And so, so thank you for everything you've done for us. I'm so excited to see what happens with Catherine. It's going to be fun to watch. So,
I'm so excited. And thank you, because it's leaders like you that are willing to get outside the box, right? And explore new things, that you guys become the leaders. Because it doesn't matter what I say, it's when other people go through it and have a very similar experience of, oh my gosh, I'm fully healthy and these things are resolving and it really is amazing. That's what I think helps people know it's the real deal, and it can happen for them too. And that's
exactly.
So
very cool. I'm excited about this ChatGPT thing. We were talking about that the other day. So let's get started so we can get to that. That's good.
I want to start with a story of kind of where this was birthed. Now, what's amazing is when I first started going in the direction of this kind of work, it was very new to me. And so I really was like, well, I've never heard of this before. So I kind of thought I found some like really small, secrety, like tiny little gem of a thing. And I did. But now that I've, been doing this for years and years and years, I'm recognizing, oh my gosh, experts in every field are honing in and validating that, the nervous system's where it's at. And
even if they don't call it the same thing, right? Even if they call it something else, it's been a thing for a while.
Yes,
Yeah.
we are all kind of discovering a very similar thing. So we'll tell a story since we're going to focus on German New Medicine. We will tell the story of where that was birthed. And so there was a German doctor who got cancer 3 months after his son died in a freak accident.
Mm.
What that did was cause him to really question the relationship between that stress, that life change, that shock, a shocking event, and his development of cancer. He was a young, healthy doctor, so he's like, this doesn't happen in just 3 months.
Yeah.
And so he started interviewing cancer patients because he was working in a cancer clinic at the time. And he asked them all, hey, about 3 months before the onset of your diagnosis or symptoms, did you have like an unexpected or shocking or life-changing thing happen in your life? And they all said yes. And so he knew there was something to this, right? So he started running brain scans, CT scans on everyone.
Mhm.
He did MRIs, he did other medical tests. He also did extensive case histories. And so he found some really amazing things in that process. Number one, there are actually lesions that you can detect on brain scans that correspond to the parts of the body that developed the illness. So he went to research more than just cancer, all kinds of illnesses and diseases and symptoms. So everybody that had the same lesion on their brain had the same illness in the body. So all of a sudden there was this correlation of 100%, there's something going on in the brain that's going on in the body at the same time. Wow. Okay, the real shocker is this. Everyone with that same lesion and therefore the same illness had experienced the same life conflict a few months prior to the onset of symptoms.
So this kind of just blew my mind a little bit. So, for instance, if somebody had cancer of some sort, then that cancer would, in every single person that he talked to, traced back 3 months before to the same type of life event. Not
Yep.
that, not, oh my God.
The
Okay.
same
Okay.
type of conflict. So then
Wow.
with 100% accuracy.
Oh my
And
gosh.
so by the time he passed as a healthy old man, because his cancer went away and was resolved, by the time he passed away, he documented over 40,000 case studies. So 40,000 brain scans, 40,000 MRIs, 40,000 case histories with 100% correlation, no anomalies. So I really pay attention when that's the case, because a lot of programs, diets, therapies, whatever, they're like, oh yeah, we have a 70% success rate. And we all think that's pretty high. And it is compared to normal. But it's like, okay, but what about the 30%? Why doesn't it work for them? And they don't know. And to me, that's like, no, something's missing. If you can't tell me why it works for Joe, but not Sally, I don't buy into this.
Yeah.
So I really loved this system. Been studying it for over 15 years. When a friend of mine who developed breast cancer came to share her story with me of how her breast cancer went away. And this is some of what she had studied. And she was encouraging me in my health journey. This was in my bedridden days, to start looking in a different place for my answers. So then he brought in a team and they worked on helping these individuals resolve this conflict, practically or psychologically, like whatever needed to happen to bring a resolution to what was going on in their lives and in themselves. As soon as they would experience that resolution, he would rescan their brain as fast as he could, right? Or do an MRI as fast as he could, get them into the imaging, into the testing. There were either the lesion was gone or healing or shrinking, as was there already changes cellularly in the body wherever there was the cancer or the illness. So it was either completely gone, or it was in remission, or it was healing. It had already changed. So what he showed is that whatever we experience in life, it affects our brain and it affects our body and our psyche, so to speak, the organ and the cells. It affects all of that at the same time. So when we talk about mind-body connection, I mean, some of these words I hate because of what they mean in the world.
They're so overused, right? They're
so
like,
overused.
yeah.
And what does it even mean anyway? And so
I
I don't like even saying that, but there
Yeah.
actually is a mind-body connection. It's one system. They're not separate things, that it's all part of the whole. And so what's so neat about that is 30 to 40 of his colleagues duplicated those studies, all showed 100% correlation, no anomalies.
Wow.
And since that time, there's been people that have taken his work into tons of different modalities and processes, and there's millions of these documented brain scans, case studies, etc., all lining up with what's going on. So this shows us a lot of things, and that's what we're going to be talking about today is what are these 5 biological laws that he put together to explain what he was seeing in the body and how the body actually works. So I love one of the ways of viewing this, that what we're teaching you is a new understanding of physiology. It's a new understanding of the way that your body works, because when there's a mystery and we think the body's broken or we think something is wrong, there's so much fear and there's so much confusion and there's so much like, well, what is it and what's wrong and how do I fix it? And that entire paradigm is a sick care paradigm. And so not only are we going to teach you today like a holistic way to treat something. We're not treating, curing, diagnosing, any of that, but we are helping you explore an entirely new paradigm. I don't know if you guys get the gravity of my words, but I hope you do. That it's like even holistic professionals are operating in a sick care paradigm, because the kinds of things that they are telling us, like, oh, it's leaky gut, so you need this supplement and this diet and to eliminate these foods to fix your leaky gut. That's your root cause, is leaky gut, or whatever these other things are. And we've talked about it in previous episodes. But that's not the root cause. That's a symptom. Why do I have leaky gut in the first place? What my gut can repair itself like every 30 days with brand new cells. We produce billions of new cells every second. So there's no reason why we should have chronic ongoing issues, right? Or autoimmune diseases are skyrocketing. Well, 80 to 90% of your immune system is in your gut. And if we can replace that like every 30 days with a new system, this isn't logically making sense anymore. So we're taking you away from the paradigm of probably everything you've ever known, whether it's a conventional doctor, whether it's allopathic medicine, conventional medicine, or whether it's holistic, alternative, functional, integrative, Chinese, Ayurvedic, homeopathic. All of those systems, we see that at least the majority of them are operating in an entirely different paradigm. So we're actually going to give you a whole new paradigm. And then we'll talk about what kind of root causes that can look like and how to start working with yourselves to uncover those.
Exactly. I love it. Seriously. I don't know if we can, like you said, I don't know if we can like help you grasp the gravity of what you're going to learn, because it's like if there's time, there's a story I have about that, but doctors even either don't know about it or can't talk about it because of, I don't know, malpractice or whatever, they're afraid of of getting in trouble or something. And so this is huge. This is like ground shattering stuff here, guys. So stick around, and we're gonna go to a word from our amazing sponsor, Dunamas Marriages, here in a second, and then when we come back, we're gonna talk. Maybe we can talk about a success story about something, like, because you've been working with people for 15 years. Surely there's a few success stories up your sleeve, and we'll tell one of those when we get back, because they're all amazing. If you've seen other shows with Michal, you'll remember some of these success stories, and they're mind blowing. So everybody stick around, and we will see you on the other side as soon as I hit the right button. See you soon. I'd love to talk to you a little bit about our sponsor, Dunamas Marriages. And now, struggling marriages often lead to a dramatic sense of disconnection from your spouse that can seem suffocating. Even if your marriage is doing pretty well, there is a way for you to thrive no matter what. Dunamis Marriages believes that God designed marriage to be a lifelong, heart-connected journey. And they're here to help you get there at Dunamis Marriages. Located in Colorado Springs, Colorado, their faith-based marriage intensive has an 83% success rate. I'm going to say that again, 83% success rate. Guiding couples through deep emotional healing and lasting transformation. Why is that important? Because most marriage counseling has a less than 10% success rate, leaving broken hearts and marriages in its wake. Led by Dr. Pauline Dillard, who brings over 42 years of marital wisdom, these marriage intensives are different. Typical marriage counseling is more of a once a week for an hour type of thing that can last for years and really end up getting you nowhere. The intensive model that Dr. Pauline uses brings couples together. Each session lasts about 2 to 3 hours and is conducted over 5 to 6 sessions. The time that you invest in a marriage intensive will combine biblical truth with proven psychological principles to restore communication, trust, and intimacy. At Dunamis Marriages, they don't just treat symptoms, they equip you with the tools to build a thriving, Christ-centered marriage. If you're ready to break free from frustration and rekindle your relationship God's way, act now. Visit DunamisMarriages.com today. That's DUNAMAS marriages.com. And take that first step toward a stronger, more fulfilling marriage. Build your marriage on a solid foundation and enjoy your spouse like you never thought possible.
Hey everybody, Craig Tomanini here, founder and CEO of Ask Craig T, and I wanted to do a quick reminder about our podcast every Friday, 9 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. You can find us on YouTube and on all of our social media platforms, so be sure you tune in. Don't miss all the valuable information we're going to give you about how to scale your business using technology.
Hey friends, this is Ben Hummel. I'm the host of the Genius Way Show, where you'll learn to access your inner gifts, talents, and callings, and how to express them out in the world. Join me here each Sunday at noon Pacific time on the Achieve TV network, right here on E360 TV.
All right, we're back. Welcome back, everybody. And we were just talking about German New Medicine, which for those of you that don't have a clue what that is, we're going to be talking about it for a while, for probably a series of shows now. So
yes,
we got a lot there's a lot to talk about. It's huge. So and also spoiler alert, we're gonna make it a little easier for you to access this information through ChatGPT in a little bit. So stick around, because we're not going to talk about it right this second, but I don't think, or maybe you are, I don't know. But stick around, because that's gonna be the fun part, because it's gonna make it accessible. It's kind of like going from the medical journal to Cliff's Notes. And so
yes.
it's
in
gonna
layman's terms.
Layman's terms. Thank you very much. That's what's missing in the medical community, right? So
yeah, it is. Yes.
All right, let's do it. What are we doing?
Okay. Well, and if I'm looking over here, it's just so I have consolidated notes to keep me on track about the 5 biological laws. And so first of all, I want to remind people, we are going to be focusing on this season, and it's so powerful. This changes everything, really, truly. I mean that. And yet, when I first was introduced to German New Medicine, it was not usable. It was like not user friendly. And so I actually didn't become fully healthy by learning this information. I had to go explore a lot of other things in my journey. Then I came back to German New Medicine and I was like, oh my gosh, it all makes sense now. So I find that people can even work with German New Medicine practitioners. Yes, they are out there. But I tend to hear stories like, oh, I've worked with them for years and we're just trying to chase all these things down. It doesn't have to be that way. So as hopefully what I'm going to give you is like, yes, here it is, but how do we make it simple and usable and quick, like a 3 to 5 month journey, not like a years down the road journey. You're still figuring out how to apply this information. Something's missing if that's the case. Also, I just want to say that this is helping us understand our bodies in a different way with education that we're really not taught by the doctors or holistic providers. So knowledge is power, right? However, what me and my team do is actually help people look even at a layer deeper of like, but why is the body even doing this? Why are we perceiving those conflicts in the first place? And how can we resolve that? So that's where we might get results in a few months. Whereas, if you're just trying to go by this system, it might take you years of trying to connect all these weird dots. So I just want to preface it with that. So hopefully I can set you guys up for how to listen to it. And if you need any help with our QR code, please reach out. We'll help make this much more simple, and we can really accommodate anyone for whatever, your financial situation or whatever that looks like. Don't worry about it. We have different options that can accommodate you. So
awesome.
This is a great, just kind of quick highlight of the 5 biological laws. So after everything that this German doctor discovered, that helped him resolve all these illnesses, just by understanding what the body's doing in a little bit different way. This is it in very simple terminology. So the first biological law is that every dis-ease, every symptom and illness in the body that becomes chronic stems from a biological shock. And this impacts the psyche, the brain, and the organs simultaneously. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, no, that alone okay.
Great. Okay. So,
keep going.
So, and it's like, what could a shock be? Like a biological conflict can be very practical and environmental. I think like, okay, we get food poisoning. We're going to start all these cellular changes in our body and our digestive system, right, to get the thing out, right? And we're going to increase cells, decrease cells, where we might throw up or whatever we do, right? So we
like a fever, maybe fever or flu or hay fever or allergies or right.
You could have some immune response. Yes. So we immediately react with food poisoning, and we all get that. We get that that's a biological conflict because we're biological creatures, right? So the crazy part is that, so that's something undigestible. It's undigestible. It's not meant to be in our organism. That's how our body perceives it, right? So get it out, right. And protect ourselves from it. Well, if we are in a situation in life that we are perceiving as undigestible, I can't process this. I can't stomach this. I don't know how to even accept this in my life. Guess what? The brain will show the same thing as if I got food poisoning, and I will start making the same cellular changes in the body as though I had a physical undigestible morsel. It could also be a psychological undigestible morsel, and the brain scans show the same thing, and the body shows the MRIs and the body imaging shows the same kinds of cellular changes. So we're not just talking emotional. We're not just saying it's all mental. We're saying it's biological. And what that means is it can be practical. It could be environmental. It could be situational. It could be emotional. It could be mental. It could be these other things. It's like, now of course I'm getting visual. No, sorry. We have imagination. So it could be symbolic. That's not the right word either, but right. It could be literal or it could be symbolic. I can't digest this literal morsel in a food that went bad, or this figurative, imaginative, representative indigestible morsel that's just in my life, like a relationship or something like that. Okay. The second biological law, diseases have two phases. There's a conflict phase and there's a healing phase, actually a couple healing phases, but there's a healing phase that is in each process that the body does. So every time we experience a conflict shock, our body runs a program to survive it. And so that includes cellular changes in the conflict phase. And usually we don't have a lot of symptoms then. We're like super in fight or flight. So it doesn't really hit us yet. We're like gearing up and surviving through it. And then when that is resolved at some level, doesn't mean it's deeply unconsciously healed. It just means my body says, oh, I don't have to deal with that right now. So as soon as there's a resolution, we go into a healing phase or a couple healing phases. That's where the body's working on reversing those cellular changes that just took place to get the body back to a normal rhythm. So think of this. If I got food poisoning, but my body never regulated my digestive system after that, I'd probably die of dehydration or, electrolyte imbalance or, like our bodies wouldn't absorb things very well because it's focused on getting it all out. So I'm not supposed to live with those cellular changes. That was just to get me through that stressor. So of course the body would need to heal to get the body back to normal. Like after my food poisoning, then my digestive system returns to normal and I can digest much better and I'm not throwing up and it's not coming out the other end, excuse the analogy, but it's a really good one because we all understand how that works, right?
Yeah.
So of course we go into a healing phase. Now, what happens in a healing phase is usually where most symptoms show up.
Which seems backwards to me, but it's true. You would think it'd be in the phase of you going through the thing, but you're in fight or flight, so you don't notice it or they're not there until it's the healing phase. Yeah, exactly. That's still backwards in my brain, but
so it's backwards because we're taught from the time we're born that if we have symptoms, something is wrong, the body is broken, nature has gone awry, which we wouldn't. It's like
which is it's the opposite of what's actually happening. It's actually on the mend, so to speak, at that point. So so don't mess with it because it's on the way to healthy.
Yes.
But that's where we stop it.
Exactly. That's where we think something's wrong. And instead of working with our bodies, we often work against them. And then there develops an ongoing issue. Plus, I know we have a lot of Christian followers or whatever, but it's like, did we think God was joking when he said we were fearfully and wonderfully made?
Right. Hello. He doesn't lie. I mean, come on. He can't. It's so.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Next.
Okay. We'll go through these and then we'll see if there's anything left. So, okay. So the third biological law. Okay. No, I'm sorry. I do want to go on a little tangent to bring this home.
Okay. All right.
Another one, we've talked about this, right? Like having a fever. And the old way of approaching a fever was like, take a fever reducer. Well, now most people know now, like even regular medicine says, like, don't do that. I mean, if it's to save your life, of course, follow medical advice. But most medical professionals will even say, well, don't reduce the fever. The fever's good. It's your body working through it. Like you'll be sick longer. If you reduce the fever, you'll be sick longer. Just let the body have a fever as long as it's not life-threatening, right? Have the fever and you'll actually get better faster. It's like you want to work with the body. So in the same regard, when we just take anti-inflammatories because we think the inflammation's bad, we don't realize that it's helping correct something in the body that's having a problem. We interrupt the body, right? When we mess with our microbiome, which I'm going to talk about, that's like bacteria in the body. There's more microbes in your body than there are human cells. So a lot of natural, practitioners, there's whole diets and everything just for your microbiome, to have healthy microbiome. So when we start messing with the microbiome, thinking there's a problem with it, we aren't supporting the body in what it's trying to do. We're interrupting it. And that's why there's recurring infections and recurring candida and recurring yeast things and recurring all the things. Okay. So I just wanted to say, it's just like reducing a fever. We don't want to do that, but we also don't want to just reduce the inflammation or reduce acid reflux or reduce
Right.
the swelling or reduce the whatever, because
Symptom management, basically.
we don't want to do something.
Yeah, we don't want to do that.
Okay, the third biological law is that wherever that, well, I'll just read it. The nature and location of a disease are determined by the conflict and the affected brain area.
Wow.
So let's translate this. However, my body, but the biology is perceiving a situation, that's going to determine what part of my brain is affected. So if I'm having let's use the examples we already used. An indigestible morsel affects a certain part of the brain, whereas like a self-devaluation where I'm feeling devalued in some way in my performance, in my whatever, that's going to affect a different part of the brain. So depending on what part of the brain is affected, that is always going to be consistent with the part of the body that is affected. And so what is so exciting about this is it's now no mystery. It doesn't, if you have pain in your right elbow or you get cold sores or you have arthritis or endometriosis or polycystic ovaries or encephalitis, or hydrocephalus, whatever is going on, we know the part of the brain that's related to. So we know already the types of issues we're looking for to resolve. So it's not mystery. And we'll give you guys that same map so that you can understand what's going on. And ChatGPT is so intelligent, it already knows. Okay, the fourth biological law is that microbes support the healing process by restoring damaged tissues. They do not cause illness. So germ theory, I know this can be hard for people. I'm so sorry. I've witnessed this in my own experience, and I've walked clients through this so many times that I know it's true, but you're going to have to discover it for yourself. Also, it took me years before I was even willing to approach this one.
Wow.
I was very resistant to this one because of
Brace yourself, everybody.
Yeah, my training in functional medicine, I was like, I always said, you have a chronic infection, and we're going to get rid of that with these herbs and this frequency machine. And I saw microbes as the problem for a long time. Anyway, I finally gave in. But so microbes, okay, think of this. Firemen are always at the scene of the fire. Yeah?
Yep.
Do we blame the firemen for starting the fire?
No, of course not.
Okay, but this is how we're seeing microbes. So microbes only show up at a certain healing phase, which has been shown on the brain scans, the MRI, like we know what phase it's in, that it's in a healing phase. So it's not a problem. It's actually helping with the healing phase. And it only shows up in a specific healing phase, not all of them. So we know based on that the microbes are actually helping rebalance the body to break down excess cells, because those turn into cancer and tumors, right? So it helps break down and restore the cellular changes that took place in a specific area. So that's a hard one, because when we just go wipe out all of the bacteria or wipe out all of the whatever we think is going on, we're actually taking away all the firemen that are trying to clean up the scene of the fire.
And you're taking that away with antibiotics or chemo or radiation or all those things that are.
Yes, or extract of oregano, or all of the things we use.
Okay, there you go. For all you natural people out there, those aren't great either. Yeah, because it's inhibiting the process.
Right.
Yeah.
So I might give someone more bacteria or just help the body flush it out quickly, which the body naturally can do if we don't disrupt what it's trying to accomplish. Yeah. Okay. So I know we'll have to go to the break. Maybe we'll save our fifth biological law for after the break and then talk to you guys about some ChatGPT things.
Yes. And actually remind me about probiotics on the other side of the break too, because my whole thing has been, okay, if there was a time for a while that I was in the hospital for 3 weeks and had antibiotics just like poured into me, and they maybe had me on those for like weeks and months afterwards. And I was always told guzzle probiotics at the same time, because that can help restore that gut, bacteria and stuff. But I'm always kind of wondering about that. So maybe we can talk about that on the other side too.
That's a good file.
Okay. All right, everybody, stick around. We will be right back and get to talk about some more cool stuff. See you soon.
Hey there. You know, every time someone comes into your business or website and uses their card to pay, a percentage of that gets folded back into the system. But it can go to Hydro with Hope instead. If you'd like your business to support us rather than feed back into the system, scan the QR code and we'll show you how to do that while saving your business money.
Hi everyone, I'm Andy.
And I'm Minna.
We're the hosts of Chronically Healthy Life.
Join us Fridays at 7 p.m. Central Time on Vitality TV to see how we flip the idea of chronic on its head and create chronic health in our bodies, minds, finances, and relationships right here on E360 TV.
All right, hey everybody. All right, before we bring Michal back real quick, I want to talk to you. Nope, that's the one. There it is. That's the right color. All right, I want to talk to you about Invisible Condition University because it is something, honestly, that I wish I would have had, a while ago. And I'll tell you why in a second. Invisible Condition University empowers you to face whatever invisible condition you or a loved one may be facing by providing a community that listens, that cares, that walks with you no matter what is going on, whatever you're going through. And so you'll be part of a community that meets twice a month. So you will have a very safe space for you to, you or your loved one, bring your caregiver, bring your mom, bring your sister, whoever's helping you along, to ask questions, get support or just find hope. This is something that I wish we would have had 10 years ago. A community like this would have been so helpful for my wife to help her not feel by herself. So Invisible Condition University is only $17 a month. And you can find us at invisibleconditionuniversity.com, scan the QR code. As my gift to you, I will give you that first month for free because I want you to check it out. I want you to get to know us and get to know the community. So scan the QR code and hopefully we will see you at the next Invisible Condition University call. Now let's bring the call back and get going here. What did I ask you about at the beginning of before the break again? It was
probiotics have success stories because I forgot to do this.
Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah. So let's talk about the success story first. What you got?
Oh man. Okay. The one that comes to mind right now is one of our clients was in her 80s and she was told she needed talk about two clients. She needed a knee replacement surgery thing. Mm-hmm. And through our program, she does not. And the issues are resolved. Another one, younger, I think she's in her 40s, maybe 50s, but she was scheduled for a knee replacement surgery. And so she wanted to work with us for a few months just to see if there was any other possible way. Sure. So she worked with us, I believe, for 3 to 4 months and went back to 2 different surgeons who both did 2 different sets of imaging because neither one could find the tear in her cartilage, which was there prior. And we are told, right, it's just in conventional medical understanding, cartilage doesn't regrow. That's one of the things like we're told, like, oh yeah, no, if it's a cartilage problem, that's not going to regrow or anything.
Only surgery. Yeah.
Right. So they couldn't find the tear. So it's like stories like that say, maybe we aren't told. Maybe they don't know what's really possible because they're working with people and they're doing studies on people that are living in a dysregulated state, in a sympathetic dominant state. They're not, where are the studies of the people that are living in the parasympathetic and allowing their body to work optimally? I mean, I'm not funded and I don't have passion to just like go study that. I'm just going to work with the people we can work with to help them because they need help right now. But it's so neat. At the end of the day, I'm constantly getting things like, oh, the 2 surgeons could not find the tear. Where did it go? That's impossible. Or like, right, we've talked about MS where she got an MRI done and they couldn't find the lesions. And again, lesions are supposed to be permanent. That's how you even diagnose MS. That's never supposed to go away. Yet we're seeing that these things go away. Your buddy that had an MRI that the lesions went away. Like these are multiple people that are having actual tests run to confirm, nope, there's no more antibodies. There's no more signs of any of that. So it's just really cool. I just think it's like, I want people to know that this is possible. So probiotics.
Exactly. All right.
Probiotics. In general, I would say, this is just my own opinion, that probiotics are something that usually does not interrupt the body's healing. Usually we need lots of microbes, and most of us don't get that. So, German New Medicine says, trust your body. Who are we to even be saying what microbes need to be done? Like, trust your body. But in my experience, a lot of people, probiotic rich foods, like fermented foods, these are all very healthy things that support the body in healing phases. So I'm usually a proponent of that. And I like just, broad spectrum probiotics, not being overzealous with one strain or another. We talked in a previous episode, you can actually test things with your own nervous system to see what your body's wanting. So I always test, and oftentimes probiotics come as supportive for me, and it's usually in different healing phases. So that's interesting. And I just kind of test what strains or what foods, or sometimes I might do kefir or, there's coconut kefir. There's also, kombucha and, different things like that, sauerkraut. So I just kind of test my body and give it what it needs for optimal fuel and optimal support.
Yeah. If anybody wants to learn more about that, the episode was on March 18th. So if you want to go back to season 4, episode 49. So if you want to learn more, dive deep into that, you can go back and go to E360 and look back at that episode, because it was a good one. It was good stuff. There's a lot of good stuff in there. So
thank you.
Go check it out.
Okay, fifth biological law is that diseases are meaningful survival programs, helping the body adapt to conflicts. So how unkind that we're like, oh, my body's broken and I can't trust it and it's my enemy, when really it's just responding in alignment with how your system is responding and perceiving to life and stress, and oftentimes our own internal stress, which is how we treat ourselves, how we talk about ourselves, how we choose to value ourselves. If we're people pleasing or putting ourselves last or speeding through life or being a perfectionist or beating ourselves up or that inner critic, we're creating those conflicts. So our body is just showing us what is really going on inside and how our biological organism is perceiving life. So it's one of our
mirror, right? It's that shadow mirror that we talked about in another show, right? It's just showing you what you're already doing.
Yep. Yeah. And you might not know you're doing it, but the body never lies. I do have a final list to see what you think of just what is the difference between German New Medicine and mainstream.
Yeah, we got about 4 minutes left. Go for it.
Okay. I think I can get through it. Yeah. So what is the approach to disease? In German New Medicine, it focuses on identifying and resolving the root cause of illness through conflict resolution. Nice. Whereas mainstream, which is conventional and holistic, focuses on managing symptoms rather than a root cause. And I know even in functional medicine, I said I addressed the root cause, but I soon logicked my way out of that, of like, this isn't the root cause. This is still symptom management. Yeah. The cause of illness from a German New Medicine perspective is that it stems from biological shocks or unresolved conflicts. Whereas in mainstream, we say that illness is caused by pathogens, genetics, or environmental factors. The healing process in German New Medicine emphasizes natural healing through the body's own biological programs, using the body's own intelligence to heal itself, which means you can't go wrong because the body knows best.
Yep.
Whereas in mainstream, healing often involves surgery, medications, or external interventions, diets, supplements, chiropractic adjustments, anything external to manage a symptom is external, and it's interrupting the body usually. The role of microbes. In German New Medicine, microbes assist in the healing process, breaking down damaged tissue and aiding in recovery. Whereas in mainstream, microbes are seen as harmful agents causing disease and requiring antibiotics. The use of medications. In German New Medicine, there's minimal reliance on meds, supplements, things like that, because we promote natural conflict resolution-based healing at the deepest unconscious level, which is a complete healing, which means the results last.
Yeah.
In mainstream, there's a heavy reliance on medications, supplements such as antibiotics, pain relievers, other pharmaceuticals, nutrients, probiotics, like whatever, all the things, anti-turmeric and all that. In German New Medicine, there's a two-phase healing process. Every illness has that conflict and healing process. Healing is often viewed in mainstream as a linear process with the focus primarily on symptom relief, which actually, if we relieve the symptoms, we shove our nervous systems back into fight or flight where more unhealthy changes take place. So even though we don't usually have symptoms in a conflict state in the sympathetic, so we think it's working, but that's why symptoms return, because after a time, the body says, I'm going to try to heal this again. And then we're like, oh no, it stopped working. No, it all makes sense when you understand the nervous system. I've got two more.
Yep.
The treatment goal in German New Medicine aims to achieve holistic health by resolving emotional, psychological, practical conflicts, all the conflicts.
Mm-hmm.
That's where we achieve health from. However, the treatment goal in mainstream practices aims to alleviate symptoms and manage illnesses, which means you stay sick if you have to manage it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And then that's really expensive. And I thought the holistic realm was better. No, they're like, I spent more on holistic remedies than I would have on meds. So it's different. It's a subscription.
I'm with you. Same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, the last one, prevention and lifestyle. So in German New Medicine, for prevention and lifestyle, German New Medicine encourages addressing emotional health and stressors of life to prevent illness. Whereas in mainstream, we focus on external things like vaccinations, diet, lifestyle adjustments for disease prevention. So it's all like, oh, your body can heal itself, but if you take this thing. And no amount of vitamins, it does help actually us perceive less conflicts, but no vitamin is going to eliminate a conflict or stressor of life. Right. And I'm like in Juice Plus, companies and hearing.
Oh, yeah. All kinds of stuff.
We take all this stuff and then they get breast cancer. And it's like, because no amount of external things is going to change how your biology perceives a conflict. So those are just some of the differences to think about.
Nice. I love it. That's perfect. Thank you for this time. And seriously, guys, I hope you were taking notes. If you're not, rewind the episode and go watch it 3 or 4 more times and you'll soak it in. I promise. I feel like that's with all our episodes that we do together. It's like, okay, everybody's just got to just hit pause, write stuff down, let your head explode a little bit, continue with the episode. Yeah. This is what I had to figure out too, man. It's mind blowing. So thank you so much for being here. And I do want to talk to the audience. So there's, okay, I just scan it because it's going away. Okay, it's gone. There it goes. Now, thank you for watching wherever you're watching from. If you're, oops, that's not the right one. That's the one. There we go. If you're watching on E360, you're on YouTube, you're on Facebook, like seriously, thank you. Bring your friends, subscribe. It'll let you know when the next episode is going to be on. On Facebook and YouTube is another. I know we had Michal's QR code there. This is another place where you can comment. If you don't have the capability of scanning the QR code, go to Facebook or YouTube, and even after the episode, you can reach out and we'll respond. So thank you so much for being here, everybody. And we'll see you guys on the other. What's that?
Ask ChatGPT to what is your symptom through a German new medicine perspective. Boom. There you go.
There you go. That was worth the whole show right there. What? That little nugget right there. That one's for free, everybody. Well, maybe we'll touch on that next time, just in case, so we have a little more time. So thank you for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.